then, I mean, the only Wilfred that's really well known in the English language, English history, is Wilfred Owen. So people will know it's Wilfred Owen when I say Wilfred. And you might not have heard of him, but he went off to fight in the First World War and didn't really like it very much. Wrote a lot of anti-war poems, basically. And he got injured and came back he was put in a mental hospital. He had trauma, sort of shell shock. So he was at this mental hospital in Edinburgh. And he met this other poet called Siegfried. Sounds very German, but he was English. Siegfried Sassoon. And this guy, Sassoon, helped him with his poetry a lot. And thought, yeah, this is really good. And he also said to Wilfred, don't go back. You know, you don't have to. You've done your bit. But Wilfred went back to the battle that he had said was a load of bullshit. He went back there because he felt duty, or he wanted to do something. I don't know. This might be a very critical song, but actually I'm trying to understand him, and it sounds a bit more critical than it's meant. Really, it's actually a tribute to him. And he died a week before peace was signed. So the news of his death reached his family when everyone else was celebrating the end of the war. Dear Wilfred, I never believed your endeavor was more than a clever display. Did you think you could rescue the boys in the mess queue? Or less grotesque, you'd betray your comrades by opting to stay in shock in Craiglock at sick bay. Naive pretense is no defense for senseless sacrifice. Admit it, you were stupid to ignore Sassoon's advice and blithely return to the fray, quite deaf to the price you would pay. You based your decision on lack of a vision and fear of derision combined. You went back to that battle where kids died as cattle to leave tittle-tattle behind, regardless of what you might find. No doubt you were out of your mind, or more exact, you lacked all tact. Death was not your chum. 1 week passed, and then at last the armistice had come. You thought you were helping mankind. Your nerves were so numb, you were blind. The telegram telling the news reached your dwelling as people were yelling, hooray! You were inconsequential despite your potential. What did you essentially say? Was it for this the clay whose drum did you dumbly obey? You grew obsessed with your new quest. It made you big and bold. Was it fulfilled when you were killed just 25 years old? I have to report with dismay, there's no lack of soldiers today. Actually, I heard about this guy at the age of 14, and I remember the teacher told us about it, and it made a huge impression on me that this guy had died a week before the end of the war, and was against the war. And the rest of the class, I was completely stunned. I didn't hear another word he said about him. I was just thinking about this. It just blew me away. So I had to write about it. It's about 20 years old, that or more, but I've worked on it. It took a long time. Here's another mournful melancholic